The gentle bookbinder, repairing the day's torn pages. If you can feel the last faint echoes of the day still buzzing gently in your ears, perhaps you might imagine just for a moment that you are a silent, gifted bookbinder. Yes, you are. The day we just lived is not a finished story, but a volume. A beautiful, complicated, sometimes clumsy volume that now needs a little quiet care before it can rest on the shelf for the night. Settle back now and feel the surface you are resting on. Offer its complete support to you. Let the weight you've been holding throughout the day simply melt downwards, away from your shoulders, away from your chest, dissolving into the softness beneath you. Can you feel how the day's obligations, the small, sharp demands and the rushed moments often feel like torn, creased or dog-eared pages? They are not ruined, my dear one, just in need of a gentle hand. We're not going to read those pages again right now. We are simply going to repair them. Imagine you are seated at a quiet wooden desk. The light is not harsh, but a single, warm, amber glow from a lamp covered in soft cloth. Just enough illumination to see your work, but not enough to startle the shadows into wakefulness. Before you lies the day's volume. Its cover is soft, perhaps worn velvet, familiar beneath your fingertips. Run your hand over the spine and just acknowledge the sheer volume of life held within it. A sigh is often the first, necessary tool of the bookbinder, a slow exhalation that blows away the fine dust of hurried actions and forgotten details. Notice your hands now. They are slow, deliberate, and entirely free from hurry. You reach for your supplies. There is a pot of golden, silent adhesive, not sticky and fast, but slow and yielding like thick honey. You take up a fine, soft brush, like the tip of a feather, and you begin the meticulous work. Find the first page that feels frayed. Perhaps it holds the conversation that looped in your mind longer than it should have, or the moment of tension that pulled at the edges of your patience. Look at the tear, but do not dwell on the words. See only the damage. With the utmost tenderness, you apply the golden adhesive along the fracture, smoothing the torn edges back together until they align almost perfectly. It doesn't disappear, no, but it is mended. It is secure. This quiet, personal ritual is about recognizing the imperfections of the day without judgment. We are not erasing the content of the pages, but simply restoring their integrity so they may lie flat and peaceful. Do you see the wisdom in that? The day was what it was, but tonight you are the restorer of calm. You are making peace with the messiness. As your quiet work continues, you move through the volume. A slight wrinkle here where a worry pressed too hard, a fold there where a small joy was quickly tucked away. You gently smooth the wrinkles with the pad of your thumb, releasing the tension from the paper fibers, just as you are releasing the tension from the muscles around your eyes. In this peaceful silence, the small sounds are magnified into a lullaby. The soft, almost imperceptible shush of your fingers brushing the paper, the gentle rhythm of your own slow, even breathing. It is the sound of deep, sustained care. Care for the day, and more importantly, care for the self that lived it. Now the final act of this evening's binding. You close the volume. It feels solid and whole again, heavier with rest, lighter in its spirit. You take a final deep breath, pulling the quiet air into the deepest corners of your lungs, and as you release it, you place the newly bound volume of the day onto the shelf. It waits there now, not demanding your attention, not asking for revision, but simply existing, complete and mended, until the morning light calls it back. For tonight, your work is finished. Your book is safe. And you, my gentle bookbinder, are utterly free to rest. Allow the image of that quiet desk, the amber light, and the feeling of smooth, mended paper to fade into the soft distance. Let the peace of this completed work settle over you now, inviting your mind and body to drift fully into the deep, sweet comfort of sleep. The library of silent moments, discovering the self's true voice. Tell me, my dear one, when was the last time you truly heard the quiet, steady hum of you? Not the voice that speaks in meetings, not the voice that answers the phone, and certainly not the voice that argues with itself in the fast lane of daily demands, but the gentle, knowing witness that speaks only in the most profound stillness. Imagine now that you are stepping into a very special library. It is not made of stone or grand arches, but is built entirely of silence and soft light. This is your library of silent moments. The air here is ancient and comforting, thick with the scent of old paper and the quiet potential of untold stories. You are its only visitor. The moment you cross the threshold, the cacophony of the world drops away. You realize, perhaps for the first time, how much sound we carry in our pockets and behind our eyes. The constant advice, the streaming news, the echoes of others' expectations, all of it is noise, like 1,000 radios playing slightly out of tune. But here, they are silent. In this library, the shelves are not lined with books written by others, but with the quiet moments you have collected throughout your life. The early mornings, watching the mist rise, the minutes spent staring out of a rain-streaked window, the silent breath you took before making a decision. Each moment is a tiny, perfect scroll, waiting patiently to be revisited without interruption. You walk slowly down an aisle. The floorboards do not creak. Every step is cushioned by the silence itself. The feeling is not one of emptiness, but of rich, unburdened space. It is in this space that the true voice of the self, your core self, can finally unfurl and speak. When the external voices cease, the inner dialogue often begins to shift. It is no longer a hurried monologue driven by obligation, but a conversation, a gentle, slow unfolding of what is genuinely important to you. It might whisper about a forgotten passion, or remind you of a simple truth you'd misplaced during a chaotic week. Find a soft velvet armchair near a window which looks out onto a perpetual, gentle dusk. Sit down and simply breathe in the silence. It is a powerful nutrient. It nourishes the parts of your spirit that have been starved by constant activity. Think of those times when you were alone and suddenly, without trying, a solution to a problem simply drifted into your mind, light as a feather. That was your true voice, speaking when the air was clear. It does not shout. It requires only that you turn down the world and turn up your stillness. This is the profound gift of solitude. It turns the spotlight inward, not for judgment, but for appreciation. You start to see the complex architecture of your own being, the strengths that hold you up, the gentle curves of your patience, the deep, warm colors of your inherent kindness. The quiet voice says things like, "This is enough," or "You are exactly where you need to be." It is a voice free of comparison, a voice that measures success not in achievements, but in inner peace. Listen closely now. In this space between my words and your breath, can you hear its soft insistence? Let this feeling of deep self-acceptance wrap around you, warm and heavy, like a cloak made from the fabric of quiet moments. Allow the library's stillness to soothe any restlessness you might feel, guiding you gently, gently towards a place where only the most important, authentic thoughts remain. The true voice is ready to keep watch now, silent and steady, allowing you to rest completely. There is nothing left to seek. You are here in the heart of your own quiet knowing. The shadow weavers, befriending inner doubts and fears. We often spend so much energy trying to keep the inner landscape perfectly sunny, don't we? As if a good person should never harbor a doubt, or a strong heart should never feel a tremor of fear. But what if the wisest path tonight is to simply invite those dark, quiet guests to sit down beside you? Imagine the thoughts that usually rush through your mind, the worries, the anxieties, the old feelings of not quite enough, as small, quiet figures. We'll call them the shadow weavers. They are not villains but complex messengers who often speak in whispers of old pain or future uncertainty. When the house of the mind is busy and loud, they hide in the corners and tap nervously. But in the peace of solitude, when the distractions are silenced, they sometimes dare to step out. And this is where our gentle, transformative work begins. We do not chase them away. Instead, we offer them a small, warm seat. This is a time of profound non-judgment. Look at a doubt, perhaps a worry about a future task, or a memory of a mistake made long ago. That doubt, that little shadow weaver, has been weaving a thread of worry, trying to protect you in its own clumsy way. It whispers, "Be careful, don't fall." Do you need to argue with it? Not at all. Simply nod, very gently, as if nodding to a child who is trying their best. You might say very quietly in the inner chambers of your mind, "I see you. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. Now, you may rest." Fears, too, are simply love turned inside out. They are proof of how much you cherish your comfort, your safety, your relationships. A fear is just a deep, hopeful prayer that nothing will go wrong. When you are quiet and truly alone, you can hold that fear in your gaze without being consumed by it. Imagine holding it like a small, dark stone you found on the beach. It's cool and heavy, smooth from the ocean's work, but it doesn't sting you. You examine its texture, its shape, its weight. You notice it, acknowledge its existence, and then, slowly, you place it back down. You do not need to carry it right now. Solitude offers a safe space to be vulnerable without needing to perform resilience. In this quiet moment, there is no need for a brave face or a rehearsed answer. You can let the facade drop completely, like a curtain falling onto a soft stage. This act of acceptance, of allowing the darkness to simply exist beside the light, is profoundly healing. Notice how your body responds to this acceptance. When you stop fighting your own inner climate, the muscles in your jaw might relax. Your shoulders might finally release that faint, familiar hunch. The breath deepens because the internal struggle has ceased. The shadow weavers are not sent away. They are simply pacified by your acknowledgement. They learn that they do not have to shout to be heard. They learn that they can trust you, the gentle listener, to hold both their messages and the deepest peace simultaneously. As you drift now, let the remaining anxieties become nothing more than faint, receding whispers. They are settling into the quiet corners, resting because you have granted them their moment of recognition. Let the warmth of your acceptance be the soft glow that surrounds you. There is only peace here now, a peace that includes all the parts of you, seen and unseen. The slow brew of creativity, solitude as the seedbed for thought. Have you ever noticed how the most beautiful ideas rarely arrive when you are running a race? They are not shouts of triumph, but quiet gifts, like fireflies appearing after a long rain. They only emerge when the atmosphere is truly still. Imagine that your solitude is a vast, ancient greenhouse, and you are resting right at its warm, humid center. The hustle of the world is kept outside by the heavy, frosted glass. Inside, there's only the soft, ambient sound of things slowly growing. This is the seedbed for thought. Creativity in this gentle light is not about forcing brilliance, but about allowing things to slowly brew. Think of the mind tonight not as a bustling factory, but as a silent copper pot, resting on a low, continuous heat. What is simmering inside? Not goals or deadlines or achievements, but the delicious, unexpected combinations of your day's experiences and memories. When you are constantly engaged, your mind is too busy processing incoming data to truly synthesize. It's like trying to listen to an orchestra while everyone is tuning their instruments. But in this quiet hour, the instruments are finally at rest, and the beautiful underlying melody of your own consciousness begins to play. Perhaps an image you saw this afternoon, the way the sun fell on a certain patch of moss or the pattern of shadows on a wall, now drifts back. It doesn't rush you. It simply sits there, waiting to be appreciated for its pure, aesthetic weight. In the stillness, these seemingly random bits of information begin to connect, weaving threads into a pattern you didn't know existed. The insights that arrive in solitude are subtle. They are often less about finding a revolutionary answer and more about framing a familiar problem in a kinder, softer light. You might realize that what you thought was a huge obstacle is actually just a small bend in the road, or that a complex emotion can be reduced to a single, simple, understandable need. Feel the air in this greenhouse. It is heavy with potential, the scent of damp earth and slow, steady growth. You don't need to push or pull or rush anything. The seeds of thought are deep in the soil, and your only task is to be the gentle, warm silence that encourages them to sprout when they are ready. Allow your thoughts to wander now without aim or destination. Let them be like clouds drifting lazily across a vast, peaceful sky. Acknowledge the ones that seem interesting, but do not grab onto them or try to organize them. Just watch them pass. This deep, non-striving observation is the most profound form of creative rest. This stillness is the source of all authentic flow. It reminds us that our best thoughts often come when we are least seeking them, while staring out the window, or right before sleep. Tonight you are simply preparing the ground for that soft magic. You are letting the brew settle. Let the image of the resting copper pot and the silent growing greenhouse fade now. Feel the deep contentment of knowing that your mind is fertile, safe, and entirely unhurried. The best ideas are the ones that wait for the right moment, and that moment is always born of quiet. Rest now, in the assurance that the seeds are planted, and the night will care for their growth. The unhurried clock, reclaiming personal time and rhythm. Do you ever feel that your life is governed by a clock that belongs to someone else? That every tick and tock is a demand, a deadline, a reminder that you are somehow falling behind? Tonight, let us gently place that hurried device outside the door and discover the natural, expansive rhythm that belongs only to you. Imagine, if you will, the invention of the unhurried clock. It has no hands, no numbers, and it makes no sound. It operates not on external solar movements or societal agreements, but on the pure, soft flow of your own being. Its measure of time is not the minute, but the moment. In solitude, the greatest luxury is the recovery of your own internal pacing. When there is no one watching, no one waiting, and no external need to perform, you realize that your true rhythm is much slower, much deeper, and infinitely more peaceful than the frantic pace you usually maintain. Think of how nature keeps time. A tree doesn't rush its growth. A river doesn't decide to skip a bend because it's running late. They follow an immense, unhurried schedule of their own design, where waiting is not waste, but necessary preparation. We too are meant to move with this kind of serene, organic continuity. In this quiet hour, let the stiffness drain from your sense of time. Where do you feel the hurry most in your body? Is it in the tight anticipation around your heart, or the subtle tremor of your hands? Breathe into that place, and with the outbreath whisper a soft release of that feeling of being rushed. You have infinite time right now. The moment you are living is complete, whole, and perfectly sufficient. There is nothing to achieve in this stillness, only something to be. What does your internal rhythm feel like? Perhaps it's the gentle, steady beat of your heart, or the soft rise and fall of your chest. This is your personal clock, and it is marking a time that is entirely your own. It is telling you, now is the time for restoration. Now is the time to gather peace. When you step off the speeding treadmill of external demands, time softens and stretches. A single hour of true, deep solitude can feel more restorative than an entire weekend spent multitasking. This is because you are finally allowing your inner landscape to breathe and expand, rather than forcing it to contract under pressure. This reclaimed time is a quiet, sacred space where thoughts are allowed to linger without guilt, and feelings are allowed to unfold without being analyzed for efficiency. You can stare at the ceiling for 20 minutes, and it is not wasted time. It is deep time. Time spent knitting the scattered parts of yourself back together. Allow the gentle, slow current of your natural rhythm to carry you now. You are floating on a soft, dark river, and the shore of sleep is ahead. There is no need for oars, no need for speed. Simply trust the current. The unhurried clock is marking the perfect passage of your night. It knows exactly when you need to rest, and it is giving you that permission fully, beautifully now. The texture of peace. Sensory details of quiet comfort. As you rest now, allow your awareness to drift away from the vast internal landscapes we've explored and settle, very gently, on the immediate sensory details of your comfort. This quiet attention to the physical world around you is one of the quickest pathways back to true peace. Tell me, my dear one, what does your solitude feel like? First, there is the sense of texture. Run a soft mental hand over the sheets or blankets that surround you. Are they worn and familiar, like a beloved storybook, or are they crisp and cool? Feel the gentle resistance of the pillow beneath your head, shaping itself perfectly to the curve of your neck. It's a subtle but profound acknowledgement. You are supported. Then tune into the temperature. Notice the warm envelope of air beneath your covers, contrasted perhaps with the cool air on your cheek or the tip of your nose. This distinction, this small geography of warmth and coolness, is a delightful sensation of being tucked away, safe from the outside world's extremes. Listen to the sounds of silence. True silence is not the absence of sound, but the absence of demanding sound. What quiet rhythms remain? Perhaps the soft, distant hush of traffic that sounds like the ocean's breath, far away, or the subtle settling of the house around you, a quiet tick or creak that assures you of its presence, standing watch while you rest. These are the acoustics of comfort. They are not distractions, they are the soundtrack of safety. And the smells. Even tonight, without effort, there might be a faint comforting scent, the lingering trace of a favorite soap, the clean smell of fabric softener, or the earthy aroma of cool air coming through a slightly opened window. These simple scents are powerful anchors, pulling your awareness out of rushing thoughts and grounding you right here in this peaceful moment. This is the luxury of solitude, the time and permission to truly dwell in these sensations. When we are busy, we register them only as fleeting background information. But now, we allow them to deepen and expand, becoming the very fabric of our relaxation. Feel the profound, heavy release that comes when you realize there is nothing, absolutely nothing, you need to change about this moment. The lights are set just right, or turned off completely. The weight of the blankets is perfect. The cushion of your resting place is yielding and soft. This texture of peace is your private harbor. It is built not of grand structures, but of small, intentional comforts, all gathered around you like gentle companions. As your mind begins to recognize and appreciate this deep sensory safety, your body will respond by softening further. letting go of even the faintest residual tension. Let the warm, quiet feeling of being completely safe and surrounded by comfort wash over you now. You are anchored here, fully present in a peaceful, gentle world you created for yourself. Rest in this beautiful, tactile stillness. Echoes of connection, paradoxically deepening bonds through distance. It may seem strange, but often the very act of stepping into solitude, of creating a gentle distance, is what allows us to see our loved ones and our connection to them with the greatest clarity and warmth. Imagine your relationships not as cords that tether you, but as gentle, soft lights across a quiet, misty valley. When you are rushing right beside them in the thick of daily interactions, the lights sometimes blur into a single, overwhelming haze. But tonight, in the peace of your solitude, you have climbed to a quiet hilltop. From this vantage point, the mist has lifted, and you can see each light separately. Each one, each person you love, has its own distinct soft glow, its own color, its own beautiful quality. This distance is not separation, it is perspective. It is in the quiet absence of their immediate needs and demands that you can truly appreciate the essence of the bond. Do you feel the gentle truth of this? When you are not tasked with doing for others, you can simply focus on loving them. Think of a favorite person now. When you are alone, the memories that surface are often the pure, golden ones. The shared laughter, the quiet understanding, the moments where their presence was a silent comfort. The small, irritating frictions of the day fade away, like smoke on the wind, leaving only the beautiful foundation of your shared history. Solitude acts like a lens, refining and amplifying appreciation. It is a quiet reminder that the most precious things in life are often the ones we take for granted when we are too close, too busy, too hurried. When you step back, you stop seeing their imperfections and you start seeing the simple, profound gift of their existence. This is the power of quiet reverie. As you rest, you can send out a gentle, soft thought of warmth and care to these distant lights. You are not reaching out with a text or a call. You are connecting through the deeper channel of the heart, a channel that requires no noise, no signal, and no reply. This quiet internal acknowledgement deepens the connection because it purifies your motivation. When you approach a bond from a place of rest and fulfillment, when your own cup is full from this sacred solitude, you have so much more authentic warmth to offer. You are giving from abundance, not from obligation. Allow yourself to feel this quiet connection now. You are utterly alone, and yet paradoxically, you are deeply rooted in the beautiful network of love that sustains you. The soft lights in the valley are shining just for you. They are constant, they are gentle, and they are waiting patiently for your return, refreshed and peaceful. Let the warm glow of these distant connections surround you now, creating a circle of soft, protecting light around your peaceful space. You are safe, you are loved, and you are beautifully wholly ready for rest. The harbor light, returning to a deep, restful center. As we drift toward the final moments of this quiet time, imagine yourself as a small, gentle boat that has been sailing all day. The sea of the day was busy, perhaps occasionally choppy, full of sights and sounds, but now the deep night has arrived and you are nearing your final, most trusted destination. Look ahead, across the dark, still water. Do you see it? A soft, constant, steady glow. This is the harbor light, and it shines only for you. It is the beacon that marks your deep, restful center. This light is the quiet wisdom we have gathered tonight, the repaired pages, the silent library, the embraced shadows, the slow brew of thought, the unhurried clock, the texture of peace, and the warm echoes of love. All these moments of solitude have guided you here, back to the most authentic and peaceful core of your being. Feel the final gentle rocking of the boat as it slows down. The sails are lowered, no longer catching the wind of external energy. The anchor is descending slowly, softly, finding purchase in the smooth, dark sand beneath the water. You are arriving. You are still. You're deep. Restful center is the simple, profound realization that you are fundamentally safe, even when the world outside feels unpredictable. It is the place within you that is never rushed, never judgmental, and never worried about tomorrow. It simply is. Allow your body to feel the physical sensation of being anchored. Let the tension melt completely out of your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, and your hands. They no longer need to hold anything. You are held by the profound stillness of the night and the solid ground of your inner peace. What does the harbor light whisper to you? It is the purest message of acceptance. You survived the day. You navigated the currents. You are completely worthy of rest. You do not need to solve the puzzles of tomorrow tonight. The harbor light assures you that everything you need, the strength, the patience, the clarity, will be there, waiting for you, refreshed and renewed when the sun rises. For now, your only job is to simply rest in the certainty of this moment. Let the light bathe you in a warm, heavy, golden security. It is quiet, it is deep, and it requires nothing of you but surrender. Take one final, slow, deep breath, pulling the quiet air into your being, feeling the peace fill you entirely. And as you release the breath, let go of the very last thread of wakefulness. The journey is over. The boat is docked. You are home. Sleep now, my dear one. May your dreams be as soft and peaceful as the quiet light that guides you. Sleep deeply, sleep well.